Back to the channel and the stream. I am Books Nelson with That Me Bro Show, and we are doing a deep dive exploration on Bam Adebayo. Asking you shall receive. I said I didn't want to pay much more than 70. Got him for 75.5. I'll take it because that allows me to get this gameplay out to you guys nice and quick. So you see here we pulled him, and we are going to put this guy in our lineup. And I actually wanted to show you guys how he looks in the lineup, like why I won't sell Anthony Davis, right? So let's look at my top squad here, the Meta Barons, and I just want to move you. Actually, we're going to, man, I hate to trade out Paul George. Let's get rid of Marbury. And is Jimmy Butler in here? No, maybe I'm bugging. All right, well, first let me get this Bam out of bio. Where are you, Bam? There you go. All right. So if you put Pink Diamond AD at center and Giannis at the three and Bam at the four, and if you guys can run Kawhi or Jimmy, they're both excellent cards. Do the same job very similarly. I mean, look at how toxic this team is. This is so toxic, man. Everybody except for Giannis, everybody has range extender. Everybody has clamps. Everybody has intimidator. 3 of them have gold or better dimer. What? Does Jimmy have dimer? I don't think Jimmy has dimer. I don't remember. I don't think Jimmy has dimer. I think they all have quick first step. Like, this team is so toxic, man. All right, but I'm wasting time on Bam's deep dive. Let's get right into it. Woof. But, yeah, I'm thrilled about that. I'm down to less than 3,000 MT. I have some assets, but man, oh, man, I am not mad at it. I am not mad at it at all. That is my kind of team. And I honestly, I wouldn't have a lot of confidence in running 6'10s at the 5 if I hadn't seen the 250K tournament where Bill Russell just terrorized people across the board. He was one of the best performing cards on the day, made a lot of tall cards' life really miserable, which does vibe with Pro-Am. If you run a 6'10 at center and they have the badges all the way the way they're supposed to be and their wingspan is all maxed out, they can guard the position. It's really the rebounding that is a problem, but in Pro-Am, the rebounding is a lot of human beings, which changes it from like the AI. Whereas the AI, all they need is good rebounding badges and athleticism, and they will rebound the basketball. All right, so Bam Adebayo. Hot spots are ridiculous. Let's see what this jumper looks like. I've been told it's better than AD's. It's a very good jumper. I like AD's jumper. Wow, that is incredible. This might be better than AD's jumper. Because as much as I like AD's jumper, this one is very smooth. Very smooth. I see where the green window is. See if I can hit it a few times. There it is. Bam. Whew. All right. Well, that's fantastic. Let's look at his leaners. Not that at power forward he really needs to do it. It reminds me a little of LeBron's leaners, actually. Yeah, it looks like LeBron's leaners. He has the leaner where you're moving, but it's also straight up and down, which for my money is the best leaner in the game. When you can be moving and also be shooting straight up and down. You're not like moving too wildly. So he can really take this shot, but it's not so different from his regular form that it throws you off if you get it by accident. So that's fantastic. Because leaners are still pretty inconsistent in this game unless you are trying to go for the leaner. Like when you catch the ball, sometimes you may stop, sometimes you may go straight up unintentionally. I've seen that happen at all levels. All right, let's look at these full court dribbles. Good between the legs, very horizontal. Very horizontal. Let's see that behind the back. Bad behind the back. Crossover. Okay, his crossover is interesting. Let's see if his double cross is okay. Not much of a crossover. Same thing I was talking about before. Like some of these centers aren't really meant to dribble. Ooh, he's got a nice explosion out of his hesitation. Let's see that again. I'm going to start calling it the running hesitation. Yeah. Yeah, his explosion out of his running hesitation is very strong. Very strong. So as long as he has a good left stick crossover, he's good to go. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. However, he does have other options. Let's see his hesitation into his between the legs. Kind of slow, unfortunately. Kind of slow. And at the end of this video, we're going to do a comparison with Anthony Davis and just look at some of these things. Yeah, I actually like his crossover. It's a little on the slow side, but it moves him a lot. And that's what I really like. Let's look at some crossover combos, see if we can capitalize off that. Yeah, there we go. That's why we do these videos, guys. Did you see his crossover behind the back? That was incredible. That was incredible. Let me open up the stream real quick. Wow, that was super nice. That was super nice. Let me do that again. Whoa, you can interrupt the crossover animation and go straight to the behind the back. That's crazy. Did you guys see that? It like canceled all of the frames of the crossover. This is worth exploring. Yo, okay, so even though his crossover has a slow startup, what we call in fighting games is a startup, meaning how many animation frames happen before the move starts to execute, right? How many startup frames of animation. So even though he has a lot of startup frames of animation, his behind the back cancels his crossover animations, right? So if I do the crossover raw, wow, this is like incredible, to be honest with you. So if I do his crossover raw, look at how many frames it has, right? But the moment the ball starts to leave his hand, you can speed up the rest of the crossover animation with his behind the back, making his crossover actually elite. So now it's actually S tier. And part of that is because the crossover itself moves him very horizontally, which you know it's hard to keep up with, particularly on a big character like this who's going to start his dunk animations from way out, right? So that is fantastic. Keeping in mind, if this character could only catch and shoot and defend, he would still be an elite card because of his raw athleticism and speed. But the fact that he can do that is very strong in the full court. If people try to off-ball you, so I'll just show you real quick. If someone tries to off-ball you in triple threat with this card, and you do this to the AI, you're going to break the AI most of the time. And your other options, instead of doing that, is if you start to move towards the middle of the so you call quick isolation, everybody moves to right side. You start to move towards the middle, and you hit them with this crossover. See how the AI reacts because of how much space you move. They're not going to get all the way in front of you, right? And that'll leave the corner three wide open and force them to help. And quite frankly, if a card is not good enough defensively to stop you from doing that, then they're a bad matchup. Some cards can stop that. Like Giannis comes to mind, AD comes to mind. There are cards that can really deal with that, but for the most part, cards can't. Like Magic Johnson, who people sing the praises of. Maybe the person, no, it was AI. Like the AI can't do it. Maybe a human being, if they control Magic, can anticipate and stuff like that. But the AI is not going to solve the problem for you. Alrighty, so that was very informative. Let's look at his half spin. Very nice half spin. You see he jumps almost all the way back, which makes his spin more viable. So that's very cool. Let's look at his in and out. Very nice in and out. Oh, Bam. Bam's got a nice set of handles. All of his handles aren't great. Some of them are slow big man handles, but some of them are really, really nice. So this is the in and out into the left stick crossover. And you see he just starts moving fast and glitchy and stuff like that. Like, that's the thing about it, is you do the in and out, and then he just starts running all over the place like a crazy person, you know? And that's impossible to deal with. That's really hard to deal with. The one thing I'd say about in and out is from an execution standpoint, make sure you're holding forward on the stick when you do the in and out, and then change your direction, right? So hold forward on the left stick is what I'm talking about. Forward on the left stick, and do your in and out, and then change direction afterwards. Don't change direction too early, or you might cancel the in and out into a hezi because of the direction that your character's facing on screen. Right? So if you do the in and out input, but your character's facing a different direction, it'll be a hezi. You see right there? It's the same input as the in and out. I'm pressing right trigger and up on the stick. There's a quick tip on that for you guys. Okay, so that was a hop layup. Curious if he does a hop dunk, but we're not looking at that just yet. We're going to look at his standstill dribbles. So let's see his shooters behind the back. Cool, he's got a good one. Takes a lot of nice steps to the side. His momentum behind the back. That was a momentum cross. I apologize to everyone. Oh, I don't think can he do the momentum behind the back? I don't think he can do it. No, he can't do it. He can't do the momentum behind the back. should I say he can't, the explosive behind the back. He can't do it. He's going to do the shooters behind the back no matter what. Again, because this card is a power forward, it's not consequential. A power forward with the momentum dribble alone is very good, and a power forward with the momentum dribble into the Hall of Fame range extender is really nice. So that was his step back. Let's look at his step back raw. There's a little bit of a hop to it. Try and cancel some animation frames into his step back. It's too slow to really use on people. So I wouldn't say this card, despite his 86 ball handle, I wouldn't elevate this card to being a playmaker unless he's being guarded by a center, because he's too fast for centers to guard, right? So even that simple dribble right there is too much of a quick startup for a center to deal with, because they have to bite on everything because they're a center, right? So when you go between the legs, they have to respect everything you do out of that between your legs, because you can go one way or the other. Because he has the quick first step badge, he can decide. And as soon as you start doing that right there with the center, like even just that animation, once they respect that animation, you can immediately pull up. You know what I mean? Like you can literally just go between the legs, start to run, stop, and then pull up. And the center has to respect it because you dunk from too far away. Like I dunk as soon as I cross the 3-point line, right? So you have to choose which animation you want defensively. So let's check out his hesitation branches here. Okay, so he has an okay hesitation. It looks like he should be able to cancel that into the shot. Yeah. Woo. That's super nice. I didn't do it at all. I apologize. Yeah, so his is interesting because it's very smooth. He doesn't do the glitchy like stand-up of it. He does it a little bit. Okay, so the way his works, if you let it go, he'll go into his moving shot if you do it too fast. But if you wait for that ball to go a little closer to his waist, he'll cancel the rest of the frames, right there. So as soon as the ball is like is in his hand and kind of resting for a second, then you cancel those frames into his three-pointer, which is going to be basically impossible to deal with, because if Bam is doing this, you have to always also worry about him doing that, right? So the moment Bam is moving horizontally, he's a threat. So I do think he is a creator. He's just not an elite creator. If they gave him a better step back, he would be an elite creator. And his between the legs is a little too slow to really catch people with off the momentum. So I don't know how, like his momentum is useful because it allows him to change direction really quickly. Let's see his other hezi. He explodes quickly out of his other hezi, especially for a 6'10", but the hezi itself is not fast, the left trigger hezi. I'll show that to you guys again. So running parallel to the rim, left trigger, right? Hesitate. See how quickly he settles his feet. So he has a little extra settle of his feet there, but I'm sure you can cancel that into a shot the moment his shoulders square up to the rim. So left trigger, shoulders square up to the rim, which might be an easier alternative for some of you guys to the right stick, if you're not used to doing the right stick. Park players are very used to doing the right stick, but I saw some people talk about how that's more difficult to do than this thing right here. Don't do that anymore. Like, that's way slower than the other two options you have. So the two options you have, if you're doing this and you want to shoot all of a sudden, is you want to hesitate with the right stick and then cancel those animations into a jumper way faster than putting the ball between your legs. Or you tap left trigger, and as soon as you face up, you take the jumper. Again, way faster, and it's the same timing every time. The jumper, you can master that. It's not variable timing. Like, a floater or a leaner or something might be like slightly varied timing. Like that, you don't know when he's going to go into that animation because you're not canceling the frames. But if you cancel the frames, you can entirely control the animation. So please do that instead of this. I really, if I could never see this again, it's so bad. And the ball goes to the side of the defender before it goes back to the shooting hand. It's really horrible. Please stop. For the sake of the channel, please stop. You said, is Bam better at the 4 or the 5? I haven't played him yet in, competition. I will get back to you on that. Let's look at him versus Anthony Davis, because one thing we haven't spoken about is his arms. They don't look particularly long. So let's look at Anthony Davis subbed in directly for Bam and see if we can see a wingspan difference. All right, so try to look at the fuzziness of his character model right here, and let's see if those hands drop down lower on the shorts. Yeah, I think AD's arms are longer. I think they might be a lot longer. So I would play AD at the 5 and Bam at the 4. AD's arms are pretty obviously longer, to be honest with you. He has a much longer wingspan, it looks like. I'm going to look again. I'm going to switch them one more time. This is a deep dive, guys, so we're kind of in the weeds here. But I really want to give you guys great info on this Bam card because a lot of people are saying a lot of different things. Best center in the game, blah, 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 blah. Let's get the real info. You guys can decide for yourself if he's the best center for you. That's what really matters, how he meshes with your lineup. You can see for me, I'm running a lineup based off speed, intimidator, range extender, clamps, lateral quickness. So he fits into my lineup because I'm running him with Anthony Davis. Because of Anthony Davis's wingspan, Anthony Davis is excellent at the 5. He's technically undersized because he's 6'10", but you see because of his wingspan, somebody wrote on 2K Gamer recently, wingspan is greater than height, and that's true. A center you don't block the shot with your head, right? So a center with those miniature arms versus a center, those T-Rex arms versus a guy like Anthony Davis, even if the center with the T-Rex arms is taller, Anthony Davis might be making up the ground with those long arms. You add in the athleticism and the badges, and he can play his position just fine. And because all of the players are so fast, if you're trying to back Anthony Davis down, he has help. Like, it's not, you just bring Giannis or Bam Adebayo over, and it's, super easy, not a problem, barely an inconvenience. So we're going to switch them one more time. Look at AD's arms. You see his arms are almost all the way down to the length of his shorts. And Bam's are coming up, I would say, fairly significantly higher. I would compare this to maybe, it looks like 2 ticks or 3 ticks if you were talking about create a character. It looks like it may be 2 or 3 ticks lower on wingspan, which every tick in wingspan is fairly significant. I'm going to look at it one more time. You see him running to the side here. I wouldn't say he has T-Rex arms, but he does have small arm models. Some people have those like arms where the forearm and the hand is almost as big as the rest of the arm. And it matters because they have, collision boxes around these things. And I'm going to do the same thing with AD, running side to side. Oh, yeah, AD's arms are way longer, guys. Way longer. You guys see that? His knuckles are scraping the ground. So I just want to look at a couple of full court dribbles with, you said double crossover? Okay, I'll go back and do the double crossover with Bam. So AD so his crossover is better than Bam's in terms of the speed of it. His crossover is faster than Bam's. All right, but yeah, let's look at that double cross. So that's his turnaround behind the back, which is pretty fast. That's his double cross, which is very good. Very good double cross. This card is, woo. Okay, and I will say his step back combos well out of his snatch back. Like if you do, it did it better over there. Let me see. Okay, it combos well out of his left trigger hesitation. It's better. Yeah, okay, guys. So, shout out to you guys, for everybody watching this video. If you're watching it all the way through, I just found something really, really strong for Bam Adebayo. If you do this left trigger hesitation, and you combo directly into his step back, it turns the step back into an elite step back. All right? See that? And it's because of the way the ball is in the same hand at all times. So if you're going right and you do that step back right there, it's elite. It's like super fast. You guys, I don't know if you can tell on stream, but it's canceling a lot of frames off of his step back dribble. And just to refresh you, this is his step back normally. As to see the dots, is what I always talk to you about. The dots show up and then the animation begins. He's vulnerable during the startup frames of the animation, which if you're doing it raw, makes it bad. Because if somebody's pressing steal like an idiot, which if it's 2K, they probably are, they're going to take the ball from you when that happens. They're going to put you in a really bad animation. But when you're on the move and you do that and then step back immediately, it cancels those vulnerability frames, right? They still show up, but they show up during the animation, not before the animation. And in this situation where you're moving, there's somebody chasing you or behind you, waiting for you to go to the basket. And if you do that, step back into range extender, especially if they're big, they've got no chance. And if they're small, you just take them to the hole, right? Like, that's pretty simple as far as that goes. So this guy is definitely a mismatch nightmare. He has a lot of juice. I'm so glad you had me do the double cross because it made me look at other things. And yeah, his left trigger hesitation into his step back, right trigger, and back on the stick is elite. It is very, very strong, particularly considering he's a 6'10". So I would say with this character, his strongest move in the half court is that left trigger stop animation. It's just really strong because it branches into his shot, it branches into his momentum cross, right? And it branches into his step back, very strong. You see? So that was a triple move right there. Left trigger, hesitation, double cross, go to the basket. So let's look at it again. Left trigger, hesitation. I did not do the double cross that time. I apologize. That was his sham guard, which looked pretty good. And now I'm canceling it too fast. I apologize. Now he wants to do the regular charge out. Maybe I need to let go of right trigger. I'm pressing it too quickly. I'm not letting him face up fast enough. Man, he really doesn't want to do it anymore. All right, whatever. It's very strong. You got to practice it a little bit because he wants the quick first step out of the stop. There you go. There we go. And then you can stop again and step back. That's really good. That's really, really, really good, man. That's super strong. There we go. Give me a hop dunk. And that's why Giannis is still the best, because his hop dunks are just so glitchy, man. So broken. Whatever layup package they put on him to give him that hop dunk is just crazy. But Bam's really great. Don't get me wrong. I think Bam is super great. Because of the wingspan differences, I would say Bam is probably best played with Anthony Davis, not play or backing Anthony Davis up at the 4. Or starting at the 4 and you back up the 4, back up Bam with Anthony Davis, whichever one you prefer. If you like Bam's shot a lot better, I hear a lot of people saying that. I'm fine with Anthony Davis' shot, but I can understand how you might feel that way. But yeah, Bam's got some sauce, man. Bam's got some juice. His momentum's good, his double momentum's good, but the elite dribble in Bam's whole kit for me is this left trigger because it goes so smoothly into his step back. And keep in mind, this left trigger branches into everything else too. You can quick first step in the opposite direction and do it again and go into his jumper. You can go straight into the shot. You can go the same direction off the quick first step. That was pretty quick for a 6'10" guy, looking like a guard out here. And then also you can face up, step back, and then even from the step back, you can go into your regular dribble packages. So, and then you got the elite dunking. So yeah, Bam is definitely an elite card in the game. I think he's honestly probably the next level up from a Lamar Odom. Even though, I love that Lamar Odom card, but he kind of reminds me of Lamar a little bit. But Lamar with like way better defense and way better athleticism in general, and that's why I would say he's like the next level up. But I would probably use him in the style that I use Lamar, to be honest. And I don't look at that dribble a lot. But that's his, what would you call this? It's not really, I mean, I guess it's a hesitation. It's his, standing hezi, I guess, or whatever. His kind of hezi setup. Is there another name for that? But anyway, that's another dribble you can do. You can chain that directly out of that left trigger stop. So once that opens up Bam's game as a ball handler, that left trigger stop. You can just kind of do whatever you want. Only thing I say about that is it's definitely much better for setting up the jumper, but it gives you a different direction. If you don't want to go backwards, you can left trigger, right stick to the right, go right into the jumper. Only thing I don't like about this is his quick first step is not activating out of it. Like he has a stop afterwards, so you're kind of stuck. Whereas if you do the step back, you can do whatever you want. You see he launches right out of the step back. And he launches at an angle that's really, really hard to cover. And if you do try to cover it, he can just stop and shoot. So I would say this card is probably impossible to defend if you play him the right way, to be totally honest with you. I think Bam is really strong. He's going to be really hard to deal with. He's going to be a serious handful. Because of the wingspan differences, I wouldn't, as close as he is to Anthony Davis, I wouldn't necessarily use them for the same thing. Anthony Davis is like the Band-Aid to your entire defense, and I have to play Bam to see if he's that good defensively. But Anthony Davis literally does his very best to block everything and snatch every rebound, runs all over the court, and you can really see the rebounding, the wingspan, the athleticism like coming into play. I have to play with Bam to see if he plays that role as well, to see if you can safely replace Anthony Davis with Bam Adebayo. Although for my style, it's a no-brainer to play Bam with Anthony Davis and I have my option of running Giannis or Ben at the 3 and really just having a tall, fast, crazy, great defending lineup. So before we get out of here, we're going to look at his layups and his dunks. Do you have to use dribble moves in MyTeam? Okay, so Brandon, so this is the thing a lot of people, so number one, people, you can't complain about off-ball defense and not know dribble moves because the dribble moves have badges attached to them that break the AI. So if you're struggling with off-ball defense, there's almost definitely a card and a corresponding animation and a corresponding badge that will stop the AI's on-ball defense from being a problem for you. So that's why you would need to dribble first and foremost. If a person is guarding you, generally you can just NASCAR around them. But if the person is good at on-ball defense, then it will help you to know the dribble moves. Particularly, especially, and this is if I could say nothing else, it's this. In Triple Threat Online, when someone wants to only defend with the center, that's when Bam and Anthony Davis are broken. Because if you know the dribble moves and you know how to properly stop and start and get into your jumper very quickly, and you know this stuff, they cannot defend you, right? The AI can't defend you either. But a person, especially people who are, like if they're playing with their center the whole time, they're used to playing lazy defense, there's no way they have the chops to stop you from doing whatever you want to do when you're playing with these cards. So in my opinion, and also when I look at the 250K tournament, I saw a lot of the dribble moves I talk about. I saw the running hezzy. I saw some between the legs. I saw the running hezzy into the charge out. And people were using these shooters behind the back, behind screens a lot. That one right there, where you just do the regular behind the back. I'll let them settle down. This one, you do that behind the screen, really good. So I think dribbling is necessary if you want to be really, really good. I do think that a lot of the MyTeam community doesn't play the kind of defense that requires you to do dribble moves. But if you're trying to go 12-0 and you want to have your offense be guaranteed no matter what, you need at least 3 cards in your lineup that you can get a bucket with 100%. And I think that's much more difficult if you don't have the dribble moves down. So that's just me. All right, so we're going to look at his layups and then his dunks. Strong hand. Okay, a good layup if the opponent is on the off-ball side. Let's see the off-ball hand. Okay, that was not a Euro step. That was just off-ball hand. I'm going to try it again, make sure I didn't Euro step by accident. Okay, so that's more towards the basket. I would say good layups. Nothing to write home about. I don't know who I'm fooling because he did a Euro step, I held forward on the stick. So his layups, he has a weird setup of layup packages because that's his Euro step. But if you're playing Bam, let's be real, everybody's trying to dunk on people. So that was also his Euro step. So his animations seem to give you whatever they feel like giving you. Because this is forward on the stick, and that time he gave me that. That's very strange, because one time he gave me the Euro step off of forward on the stick. And the time he gave me that. Okay, well he has a great layup package. I just hope you don't accidentally get a Euro step, because I was definitely holding forward on the stick when he gave me a Euro step. I wasn't even holding a little bit to the left or the right. It was directly forward, and he Euro stepped for some reason. And see, that time was also directly forward. So Bam has a lot of really good layups, but I can't tell when they're going to trigger. It's almost like he has too many layups. You guys will see a lot of cards I'll run here. I get the same layup every single time. Like with Chauncey, you get the same layup. Unfortunately, it's a bad layup, but you get the same one every time. Bam gives you different layups, so layup at your own risk. But again, if you're playing Bam Adebayo, you're trying to bang on somebody. So let's see what that looks like. Strong hand. Cool. Very good, safe in-game dunk. We're going to go off-ball hand. Very nice off-ball hand dunk. That was elite. He had no gather whatsoever going to his off-ball hand. Okay, that time he had more of a gather. Let me see if I can. But he did a double dunk, so maybe a two-handed dunk. So maybe I need to go a little more to the off-ball hand. Let me see. Okay, that time he went to the off-ball hand with a bit of a gather. But he's got a nice one in there. I wish you could trigger that whenever you wanted. Yeah, he's got some nice off-ball hand dunks. Some cards do really bad gathers when you switch hands. So let's see. Off-ball hand, strong hand side. Cool. Very good. That's a trend I'm noticing in the game, is a lot of the cards have a dominant hand that they dunk with, and they do better dunks on their dominant hand. All right, so non-dominant hand, off-ball dunk. So that's where the gather is. If you're going up with your non-dominant hand and you do to the off-ball hand side, he's going to have some gathers. But he's got good dunk packages, even though they are gathers. They're still good. Yeah, they're still good, but they do have more of a gather. So if you're going non-dominant hand, go ball side for sure, or straight up. So let's check his fancies. And we're also going to check his post launches because he is a 6'10". So we want to check out his post animations. I actually didn't check LeBron's post animations, but he's 6'9". If you post up a point guard, you're just going to post spin him, obviously. So I don't know. I'm sure he has really good post animations. I might revisit LeBron and do that. So those are his flashies. You can trigger those dunks almost from the three-point line. I'm going to see how far back I can trigger them. Yeah, you can trigger those from the three-point line, guys. So that's a heads up. I realize this is a long deep dive, but Bam is a card with a lot to him. So, it's just how it is. It's hop dunk or not dunk. He doesn't love the hop dunk. So I would say with Bam, there we go. There we go. Definitely square button on the hop dunks with Bam to make sure that he dunks. Don't use the right stick because you're not gonna know what you're gonna get with the right stick. Some characters have very strong right stick dunks. Bam is not one of those, but his square button is cheese ball. So he's a cheese ball with the he's definitely a cheese ball with the hop dunks if you do it with the square button. Woo! Yo, this card is too good, man. Oh my god, I'm so glad I got this card. I know he's gonna be like 50K. I probably got him for 25K boys, but I need to get these videos out to you guys, man. Oh, this card is so good. Actually, I want to test that real quick. I want to test that into the snatch back. Into the step back. Okay, that doesn't combo into the step back. Left trigger into step back. If you remember nothing from this video, remember that. That and his crossover cancels in full court. Just to show that to you guys again, if you're late watching the video, crossover into the behind the back cancels animation frames. And then you can start your dunk animation from the three-point line. This card is elite. All right, check out his post launches. Very nice, very tight turn. We're going to do it the other way. Actually, kind of a slow build-up. Kind of a slow build-up. Maybe that's the low post moves rating. Not low, but not the elite post moves rating coming in. Yeah, he has a bit of a start before he does it when he's going to the baseline shoulder. Try from the other side. Make sure it's not a dominant hand thing. Yeah, it's not the fastest. I've definitely, like, Shaq is definitely way glitchier when it comes to that. But going towards the paint side, it's very quick. His post launch is very quick paint side when his shoulders are squared to it. Let me check his shoulders to the baseline and see how he looks. Okay, so shoulders to the baseline. It's basically his post launch is faster numbers side. That's the main thing. It's way faster numbers side. When he has to turn towards the back shoulder, he's a little slower. Not in a way that you shouldn't use it, but this is an information video, so that's information. Let's check out his post step back. He has a hesitation before he does it. Yeah, he kind of gives a tell. So I would say he has one of the weaker ones, to be honest with you. A lot of characters instantly leap right into it. But he is very quick out of it. So again, not saying not to use it, but just understand that if this is, your game, you're giving up a little bit with that. You might have to make an extra read because the opponent has a little bit of time to react to that. And he can't step back out of that, I don't think. No, he can't step back out of that animation. Okay, if you tap left trigger, you can kind of finagle the step back out of that. If you tap left trigger first. So I'm doing post stop back, left trigger, step back. There we go. Okay, there we go. I found the combo for you guys. So if you just do the post step back and you try to step back right away, he doesn't. But if you interrupt this with the left trigger tap, so step back, left trigger, tap back, he will do it. And you can cancel the left trigger frames of step back if you do it quick enough. This is actually a very complicated card, guys. He's a very complicated card. I hope you guys are enjoying this super deep dive on Bam Adebayo because I think he deserves it because he's a meta card. So you saw that right there. I did a hop into a three-pointer, which is going to work. I've been doing this to people with Marc Gasol because Marc Gasol's step back is so good. And he has range extenders, so he's going to be even better with it. You can literally do a go-to game with that. You'll probably frustrate somebody so much doing this. And then when they start to chase you out there, you just cross them over and dunk right on their faces. So, final verdict on Bam. I don't see him as a replacement for Anthony Davis necessarily. I think he's his own card. They look closer on paper than they are in practice, but Anthony Davis has a wingspan and different sets of good animations. Did I do an Anthony Davis video? I don't think I have. Maybe I need to do one on the brow. All right, so we'll do one on the brow so you guys can have a comparison from one to the other. But the brow is bigger than Bam Adebayo. So I'd run Bam at the 4 and Brow at the 5 and enjoy the W's. All right? I hope this was great for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this deep dive and got all the information you were looking for so you can make all of the decisions that you need in order to actually check out Bam's post fade before we close the video. How about that? All right. Look at this real quick. That's my bad. Almost forgot. Bam is a 6'10 post-up guy. Although, again, I feel like Bam is closer to 6'9. Or Anthony Davis is closer to 6'11, one of the two. Because Anthony Davis does look bigger. This isn't really a post-fade guy, I would say. Let's see his... Okay. So that one's pretty good. His free throw line post-fade, when you go towards the free throw line, that one's nice. And it looks a little bit like his post-launch animation. If you look at it, like the way he starts up, you see the way he kind of launches into it. And I'm going to do a post-launch from the same position. See that? The way he kind of squares up a little bit. People aren't going to know which one you're doing. And you also have the step back out of that as well. You know, that you can go into his jumper. Or now, because you watch this video, you'll know that you can go into his left trigger and then step back. All right, so you can post hop, left trigger, step back. Give me that. This card is so good. Hopefully this video helps you to make the proper decision with your MT, whether or not Bam should join your collection, what role he would play in that collection, and what the possibilities are with the card. Thank you guys so much for watching this channel and supporting it as much as you have. Road to 1,000 subscribers is here. My first 1,000 subscribers. Cannot thank you guys enough. All right, I will see you in the next video. Peace.